Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So, I am Static Stardust. Last episode, we are nearing the very end. I am saving this Cadbury caramel cream egg for when we get that not guilty verdict, but let's see how this works out. It's also boiled down to this. We can only save one sister, unfortunately, so we will probably only be able to save Alana because originally she was our defendant. But Emma, unfortunately, I don't know if we can save her. So let's find out, and let's get this party started. All right, February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Alana Sky, please take the stand? Miss Alana Sky, you're the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But, Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Aww. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Excuse me. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Derek convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. I highly doubt that. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But, Lana... If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been trying to tell you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Right from the get-go, repressing everything. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Oh, I meant to press. What the? The button changed, that's weird. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Yeah, the button changed, that's weird. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Derek was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Anna. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you demand was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Derek? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Derek was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Derek's knife, planted it inside the wound, and moved the body. You planted the tip of Derek's knife in the victim's wound? And then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for a state. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you move the body? Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deducted it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar, you mean, yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Derek committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Derek was laying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Derek convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. I'm still gonna press this, but I'm gonna go back. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? Are you willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like we're determined to protect your sister to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. The pieces of the jar that scattered during threatened my plans. Let's bring up that jar and see what happens. Uh-huh. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the evidence threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. That actually does make sense. Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed to regard this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Alright, testimony number 2, the jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was in a dark room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got all of them. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Derek was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Alright. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was in the dark room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what exactly really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Derek killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Hold on. I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I gathered them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch dark black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol whenever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping away what we discovered. I think, no, I gotta present that jar again, because we found the last piece inside Gant's office. Yeah, Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found this final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up at the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe it? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant at the time he was looking for Derek downstairs. Besides, even if he were the first there, why would he break the jar? Question is, if he did arrive at the scene, why didn't he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! Even the judge is going crazy. No, not my lover man. Wait a minute, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question, what is this action called? Fabricating evidence. But why would Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Alana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Derek, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you don't understand. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So, you do tell foul lies, Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Alright, final one. Let's do this. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor's sword. Emma and Derek were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was fabricated, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Eh? I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. Wait a minute. The duckling detective? I think Lana may have finally lost her mind. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. All we have is the cute little duck detective. Yeah, see? Nothing else. Just the one picture book. Nothing else. I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Eh? Please present this picture. Look at this photograph. I don't remember receiving any picture from Lana. She said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check out the evidence then. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Here. Evidence of law. Look at the cute whale duck. At Pio. Lana, you cheeky girl. Hey, there's a picture in here. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Oh dear. Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? Yeah, it's like a faint fingerprint that had Emma's markings on it. This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. Dude, you're really going back to you being the suspect. But those are fingerprints. They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we shall be able to flesh out the real murderer. No. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled. I didn't press any... Oh, God. Come on, come now, Audrey. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put a word or two in my defense. Yeah, you literally just butted in the middle of her. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck. Oh. Gah! Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? I mean, after that, I would say yes. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. Oh no. No. You cannot puppet Lana right now. We literally just got through breaking the first layer of the jawbreaker statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yeah, yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. I mean, we could. We got a full bar of safety. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. I'm gonna go on a limb and say... I don't know what I want to do. If I show it, then they're gonna say, like, oh, Emma's guilty, yada yada. And if I don't show it, I could be in contempt of court and literally game over. Show evidence. It's all we got. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright, time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have gotta be the Chief's. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Evidence that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. It's a piece of a leather cloth? Yes. It was most likely cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are these? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Sky's. Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. it's over. Oh no. You shouldn't have pressed that. Damn it! Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point. What? You lie! Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know what you took it. You took what was inside. They're conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know his fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means the chief of police. You've been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall to Wright-O. I didn't. I literally had Edgeworth say you shouldn't have pressed that, reloaded a save, and came back here. Well, I can't just let you pin me as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit it? You gotta love and hate Damon Gant. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Derrick convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For instance, of course. Insurance? Oh, insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, fool? I didn't take police chief by dumb luck. See this jaw fragment? I hit the most eligible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for our insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Wright-O, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Wright-O. You should have shown it before it was too late. Hey, I did, and then Edgeworth said you shouldn't have shown it. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess this up, victory's mine. Show evidence cannot show evidence. I already said I can't, so let's see if I show it. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Evidence that shows who really murdered Prosecutor Marshall. This is a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left it behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. Hey, Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically. Huh? Well, like an explanation is, the person slipped and fell on freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know. I always slip on the floor at school after they were waxed. Alright. I'm gonna try again. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes. At least you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. I still have to save. You're really as slow as the uptake as ever, were they? What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he reluctantly to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Uh-oh. Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to. It's Angel Star. No, I'm just kidding. Emma? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, you're really something, Wright. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's all true, tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Okay, hang on. Let me... Hang on, I'm clearly wrong. Okay, I'm clearly... Let Alex fix this mess. No, it's no use lying here. They'll discover the truth the second they analyze this. What's the matter, Wright? Hurry up and tell us. You do know, don't you, Mr. Wright? Whoever's fingerprints belong in here must be the real murderer. Oh my god. I can't pin this on Gan. I have to throw the book at Emma. Emma, I'm so sorry. Emma? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh! You're really something, right out. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Miss Sky? You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only is this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gand, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Alright, let's see what we got here. Found in Gant's safe evidence for something but what bears Emma Scott's prints. Crime photo taken from a case 2 years ago. I'm guessing it's the crime photo? What exactly is that supposed to be? This is a picture of Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground when he was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to have leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest like an idiot? Ironic, isn't it? Strange, isn't it? Though the very act of creating insurance, you provided that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Oh. That was close right now. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refuse your allegations. What do you mean you refuse his allegations? You see that piece of cloth? It's illegal evidence. Order! Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Ajay. Earlier, old Wright out here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Oh, is this gonna come back to bite me in the ass? Well, that's true. The defense did refute the present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth concealed to be illegal, ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Oh, did you actually think you confessed me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Are you serious? I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Huh? Well, Mr. Wright? Oh no. It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely... Alright, number 9. Well, I mean, I didn't. It was already in Gant's safe, so he was the first one to conceal the evidence, so I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one moment. Ha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it's not, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved with presenting evidence. No, Ajay, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove that your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do it now. If you can prove your conduct was found in Chief Gant's safe. I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to press... I did it. Alright, I did not. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Listed evidence in the SL9 incident. No. Wait a minute. Rules for submitting evidence. Number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take a look at that. Look at this picture. Sorry, but you can recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No, he's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Hell yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer was you! Oh my god, he clapped himself to death! I knew I should have gotten rid of him! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! 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 I'm crying. I can't. He literally clapped himself to insanity. Oh! Oh, my tummy. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was hilarious. I don't know why that was so funny to me. God damn. He literally just clapped himself to death. It's like he knew he was guilty. It was like, I'm gonna go out with one last hurrah. Oh my god, my stomach. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to find something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insists on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? You can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand this all over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd be bringing up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried and wiped it up. I was worrying so much about the flaw, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. A bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the bloody body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more as us detectives ever will. That still doesn't excuse this! Leaving the prosecutor's car aside, how? How can you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you came so you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to doing it. I also couldn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. Looks like I was better off bringing off an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They did their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, were they? Why did you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. Don't you dare clump Edgeworth into your BS. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go at it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, and, Ajay... what? Well, looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. Oh. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to other officers on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you're no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Ajay. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, he'll be fine. Now you have Wright over here. And Worthy. Well, these two around. You can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Oh my God. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell you everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have. For a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh, what? Didn't mean to make 2 screenshots. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar, liar, plants for hire. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder, however. Although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted in his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Aww. And then I rose to heaven. It's like, yeah, we ain't gonna have that trial anymore. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charges of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Woo! Yay! Ah, time to crack open this caramel Cadbury cream egg. That is all. Court is adjourned. Yay! Oh, thank God. Alright, February 25th, 5:03 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. What the? Emma? What the? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, she thanked everybody but her sister. That's a dick move. But I mean, she's sure she meant it. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting. Oh, Gumshoe, how I love and hate you. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Gumshoe, come back. Wait, Gumshoe, what is it? Oh, I love this. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty. And on top of that, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. What the hell's going on? Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Ah! Should he be doing this? She is still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scarred. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. Such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Damn it, I always keep getting the friggin' bubble coming up. Oh, Emma. No. I'm taking so many screenshots today. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. I was hiding behind that plant, and I don't know how she found me. Where is he hiding? Behind the plant or the sofa? One of the two. I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Oh, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. Well, we were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. What? No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth? Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. But we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just a one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to do it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? David Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. That may be true, but think back at today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. The blue badger. No. I don't freaking know. Why are they doing this to me? Why on earth? Why? I don't know. It's not the autopsy report. Oh, the evidence list. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack to begin with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other half. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. And with that, he dematerializes. Edgeworth, what will you do now? I'm going on vacation to Jamaica. Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it go and help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Wright. I can't stop doing Gant's accent. Oh no. But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. With the marriage certificate. Farewell. And I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation, and it's got a cute little duck on it. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. I can't stop getting pictures of her smile. It's so adorable. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Basically, I had to bribe the guard in there to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, yeah, you see. Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. Wait a minute, what? Huh? What, you think I can afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright, you're the best. Wait a minute. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you go pay for it? Why don't we go pay it off together? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. And the end. Did-do-do. And that has been Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study at the top corner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as at the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Oh, yeah, like a sister duo team of crime fighting? That's awesome. Planning: Takashi Yakuza. Let's see. Gumshoe! Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorization investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yeah, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. That's why they call you Gumshoe. You're stuck at the bottom of your shoe. Oh my god, this was the hardest thing I've played in God knows how long. Still crazy though. So I think I'm just going to take a break from Phoenix Wright for now. And then just either play another game or just... My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm going to make a detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. Yeah, I feel like he could. I feel like he's got high aspirations. Oh, this is so cool. So yeah, I think I'm going to, technically speaking, I will hopefully take a break from Ace Attorney on the channel, but I am going to play it off the, oh god. And I, the Blue Badger, still continue to dance in front of the police department because my life is a living hell. Please, someone end this dancing suffering. Oh, finally he stopped. It's like, someone end my suffering. Finally. So yeah, I think I am going to take a break from Phoenix Wright for now. As of now, I've only had a couple of episodes 4 uploaded. What is it? You can't see I'm having a good showdown with my steak lunch? The star managed to sneak this in for me, seeing one of them guards having it. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. He even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Will do, partner. Alright, so like I was saying, I'm taking a break on the channel from Phoenix Wright, so for now I'm still going to edit and upload all the episodes. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Wright Wade lunch. A top layer tastes bitter as a defendant, but bottom layer is sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around extra time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Alright. So I might just continue where I left off on my PS4 and just continue playing from there. Or maybe I'll still play, I got Horizon New Dawn and I've kind of hit a brick wall in the first beginning. I'll never forget that young defendant lawyer that said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he's been doing something or other for how many years? Oh, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I've got to go. Oh, that's what the chair looks like. So I've got Horizon New Dawn that I've scraped the surface of playing. It's still kind of new to me, but it looks real good so far. So there's that. What else? Still want to play Subnautica Below Zero, but I'm waiting for the full release to come out. So there's that. Mia! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick. Oh, just you wait until we get to the village. That's gonna be fun. Ah. So with the new internet, I might be able to play The Last of Us without the Elgato game capture, but again, that's still kind of a mystery. Like, the internet's better, but it's still kind of not top-notch. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on? Yeah, what's that letter? Oh, I know. I'm curious. I'm a little curious, George. I want to know what's going on in that envelope. Is it his final paycheck? Is it a letter? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thanks to you, Mr. Wright. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Scientific investing. Oh. Oh, it's so cute. Oh. Oh, it's so adorable. Oh. And went on. And just before it faded. Oh, achievement unlocked. Rise from the ashes. Yay, it's over. Now I just gotta wait for Aaron and Dan to play this game. Or rather, to finish it playing episode 5. Alright, guys, that is it for Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now, for the fun part. So, this was Ace Attorney we played. We have 2 more games that I can play on this channel and will play. We have Justice for All, and then we have Trials and Tribulations. So we've already played Ace Attorney, we've finished Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. That was the first game. So now, I'm going to take a break from Phoenix Wright. I'm going to edit some of the episodes, upload those during the quarantine, because, you know, I got nothing else better to do until the whole situation itself dies down. But starting sometime tomorrow afternoon, I'll hopefully have edited and uploaded the rest of episode 4, and then just from there continue on uploading episodes episode 5, parts 15, I think. 1 through 15. So, from there, you guys know the drill at this point. If you like this, leave a like, hit the kitty face in the center, and please check out the playlist to the left and right of this video. Share with a friend. I am Static Stardust, and I will see you guys on hopefully the next episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Goodbye.